What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a try a chapter romance edition. You know that I love doing these videos and I really wanted to do them during the times that people read these books. So for instance, I did a try a chapter for Christmas during Christmas time. Now that it's February and Valentine's Day is literally right around the corner, I want to do a romance edition. So I have 5 different romance books that I picked just from my shelves. I definitely have more romance than this, so it was actually really hard for me to pick just 5. If I go over 5, then it's just like the video gets too long and I can't remember all of my thoughts. So we're just gonna go along with 5. So let me show you what I have so far. So the first one is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I actually don't know much about any of these books, so I'm gonna have to read the synopsis, but this is going to be one of them. Then we have Loving Mr. Daniels by Brittany C. Cherry. A lot of people have recommended for me to read this book, and so I am really excited for that one. Then we have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This copy, actually, both of these I got from Book Outlet for literally, I think, $3 and $4. So my link is down below if you want to go check out Book Outlet. These are just books that were discounted and that you can get at a cheap price from Book Outlet. So definitely go check that out because, you know, I mean, who doesn't want to spend only $3 or $4? But anyway, Archer's Voice, I've heard a lot of people say that they liked this one. Then this one I got for Christmas. This is 3 Blind Dates. I have heard actually great things about this as well, and I'm really excited. And then this one, I've heard some controversial things about this last book, and so I think I am gonna save this one to read last because I am really worried. But this is The Flatshare, and I've just heard so many people, like, some people love this book and some people like despise this book, and so I don't know, you guys kind of know me. I don't know what I'm gonna think of this one, but I'm just kind of a little bit scared. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try, I guess I should just go by the order I just did. We're going to read we're gonna try the first chapter of Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Now, I don't know, like, I don't actually know if I like Christina Lauren. Like, every time I've tried out their books, it's just not there for me. The best one that I've read so far of theirs was The Unhoneymooners, but a lot of people said for me to read this one because I think this is more adult fiction. I think it's an adult romance. This kind of sounds like it is a second chance romance and maybe even a love triangle. It says that this girl Macy, I guess, is planning her wedding to an older, financially secure man, and then she runs into this old, like, love of hers named Elliot. He proclaimed his love and, like, broke up with her, or like broke her heart, all in the same night. It says it's told in alternating timelines between then and now. It sounds like it's a friends to lovers, and I don't know. I just read Say You Still Love Me by K.A. Tucker, and that was also alternating timelines from when they were younger and then when they were older, and it was second chance, and like, I don't know if I really love books like this, so I'm going to try this out and read the first chapter. So I read, there was like a little prologue and then the first chapter. It wasn't very long, I'm only on page 17, but I actually really like the writing style. Like, it's very easy to read. It was very easy to get into. The beginning prologue part is talking about her mom who passed away while she was younger, and her dad is taking care of her whole life, and her mom kind of left this like rule book type of thing where it was like, give her $10 a week but make her save 2, and keep her curfew at 10 o'clock, and if she just seems stressed, like, get a weekend getaway or whatever, so that way, you know, the daughter can relax. And I don't know, like, it was already making me like emotional and kind of teary-eyed just thinking about how, like, she doesn't have a mom and her mom just sounds like absolutely amazing. And so I actually really enjoyed this, like, way more than I even thought. And so I think, let's see, do I usually do a 1 out of 5, or do I do a 1 out of 5 normally on these try chapter videos? I can't remember now, but I think that this would actually be like a 4. And so I am actually looking forward to reading this. I just felt like I could connect to the story right away. Like, the writing style just really pulls me in, so I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like it is going to be a little bit more emotional and just not a random romance story, if that makes any sense. Now, the chapter that was going to be next was going to be back then in the teenage section. Maybe I won't like it as much after I read the teenage section, or maybe they're just gonna be that great at writing it that I won't mind. Okay, the next book that I'm going to read the first chapter of is Loving Mr. Daniels by Brittany C. Cherry. Now, if you don't know, I read Eleanor and Gray by Brittany C. Cherry, and it was a 5-star read for me last year, and so I actually have a whole reading vlog with spoilers. I will link it right here for you guys if you want to go check that out, but I loved that book. It was so emotional, and so a lot of people told me to read this one. So this, all I know is that it's a forbidden love story. I am not sure if it's her teacher or what it is, but she's falling in love with this guy called Mr. Daniels, I guess, and it just says that it was easy to call us forbidden and harder to call us soulmates, yet I believed we were both forbidden soulmates. And I think it's gonna have a very emotional, because it was about family, it was about loss, it was about being alive, it was silly, it was painful, it was mourning, it was laughter. So I think that this is gonna be very emotional, and it has that forbidden like love interest, which I love in a book. So I'm really excited to read the first chapter of this. The synopsis is just so vague. Like, I really don't know what this is about, but I am here for this. Okay, so I read the prologue and chapter 1 of Loving Mr. Daniels, and I still don't really know what this love interest is going to be. So it started out, the prologue is of Daniel, and it says 20 months ago. It sounds like he's not super old, like, I don't know. So I'm not exactly sure what the forbidden, I thought it was gonna be like age gap, but I don't think it is. But it started out with Daniel and how his brother is like into drugs and sells drugs, and these guys were coming after him, and they end up killing their mom, like shooting their mom. And then chapter 1 is of Ashlyn, I think her name is. Yeah, and it's talking about how her sister just died. I think she was sick, and how the mom, like their mom, doesn't love Ashlyn. Like, she only loved Gabby, who's the daughter that died. And so now Ashlyn is gonna go live with her dad that like wasn't even, I mean, it's her dad, but he wasn't really a great father figure. And so there's just a lot of like heartache happening in this book right away. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to like interconnect with the romance in this book, but so far this is emotional. I think it's more of like a 3 right now with reading the first chapters, just because the writing doesn't flow as well as the Christina Lauren book that I just read. But I still can see myself like reading this, and just feel like this one is one of those where you just kind of have to get more into it to understand what's going on. But I am looking forward to still reading that, because I really want to know what the forbidden like love interest is going to be. Next up is going to be Archer's Voice, and I think this one I also heard was emotional, so we're just reading all of the emotional books right now. Again, this synopsis is just so vague, I don't know what it is. It does say something about how this girl, I guess, survived and her dad didn't, and she's used to like the coldness of a gun on her skin and stuff like that. And then she meets the guy Archer, and I think that they have just a lot of the same like problems and stuff. I don't know, but we're gonna go ahead and read the first chapter of this, and hopefully I get an insight of a little bit of what it's about. It's really hard to like know what some of these books are about, because like the synopsis are just so vague, which I guess is good when you're going into a romance, because you don't want to just know the whole romance from the synopsis. But I'll try and like update you guys with what this is about then after I read the first chapter, which is not very long. It's literally 6 pages long. Okay, I was worried because this chapter was only like 6 pages long, and I thought that I wasn't going to like it because there wasn't gonna be anything. This is gonna be a really good book. I am pretty sure about it. Like, I'm so glad I got this off of Book Outlet for only a couple dollars, because just within those 6 pages, like, I already just want to keep reading. So all we read so far is about Archer when he's 7 years old, and his mom is in bed because she doesn't feel great, but we learned it's because his dad is like beating her. I guess his dad comes home drunk and like beats his wife, but then goes and sleeps with other people. And his uncle, like Archer's uncle, is coming around to check on them, and his uncle is actually in love with his mom. I guess they had an affair, and that's why like his mom lets his dad beat her because of the affair that she had with, I guess it's the dad's brother. And so, you know, there's just like a bunch of love triangles going on. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of heartache. Like, I really, really like this storyline, and I really just want to see how Archer's gonna grow up because of that, like because of what happened like when he was 7 and stuff. And so really excited to read this. This one I'm definitely giving like a 4.5 out of 5, like involving the first chapter. It's really good. Okay, next up, we only have 2 more, and hopefully I can get them done before I have to go to work. This is 3 Blind Dates. I think that this is where obviously a girl is going on 3 blind dates, but I actually think she's like falling in love with all 3 different people. I think that's what the storyline is, but we're gonna just go ahead and try this one out. Whoa, chapter 1 is also very short. I'm gonna go ahead and read this and see what this is about. I don't think that this one's gonna be emotional. I think that this one is gonna be more romance and just like dating involved. I don't know, I'm fascinated with the idea of blind dates, so I think that it's gonna be really cool to read about. This book was actually cute and funny. It was totally a different vibe than the first like 3 books that I read. So we find out that this girl, Noelle, I think that's how you say her name, she is like a Good Morning talk show host, and this new restaurant called like Going In Blind or something like that, reach out to her about like using their restaurant to find love. So like their whole restaurant concept is this restaurant only does blind dates. And so she had like filmed her, I guess like intro thing for this, or like application for it, and her boss at the Good Morning talk show place found out about it and was like, you used company resources, so now, you know, we're gonna actually make this into a TV show, or, you know, you're gonna get fired or whatever. So now she is like, this has kind of become like a reality TV show, I guess, where she has to go on these blind dates, and it's gonna be filmed like on the Good Morning show. So I'm really interested in this story. Like, it's funny, it was quirky, it wasn't emotional, so I think that that's good because I have so many emotional romances. So I think I would give this like a 4 out of 5, just based on, there was just a little bit of prologue and then the first chapter, but you know, I could definitely see me reading this and probably liking it, as long as it wasn't like constantly stupid. Sometimes romance books that are supposed to be funny just turned into like kind of stupid or immature, if that makes any sense. Okay, last but not least, we have the Flatshare, and this I do know a little bit about because of people just talking about it all the time. So this is about a guy and a girl that have to share an apartment, and I think they even have to share like a bed. Like, I think there's only 1 bed, so like she has half of the bed and he has half of the bed, and I think that they don't see each other that often, but I do think that the storyline is going to be like them falling in love eventually. Yeah, so it says that Leon works the night shift and then Tiffy works during the day, so they like flip-flop on who, you know, like has the apartment at the time. And in fact, it says that they're never even supposed to meet, and they start like writing notes to each other first about, you know, garbage day and like eating leftovers and stuff like that. And so I guess they start becoming friends and falling in love, but they actually still haven't really like even spent time together. So I'm really interested to see just how this first chapter is going to be. Okay, so the Flatshare finished the first chapter, and it was only from the female perspective of Tiffy, and all that kind of went through was kind of like what is said in the synopsis. So she was trying to find someone to share a flat with because her ex-boyfriend won't let her stay at his apartment anymore because he like met someone new. So she's trying to find someone, and she sees this ad of like having to share a flat and a bed with this guy that's a nurse, but it's gonna work out because she works a 9-to-5 job and he works night shift. So that's kind of where it is just that she's gonna decide to do this. This book is a British book, and I have just a really hard time like reading that type of writing style, and so that's the only thing that kind of like deterred me from this book, is just because, you know, it was a little bit harder for me to read because I never understand exactly what they're saying all the time. And so this, I think I'm gonna give a 3. I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's closer to the least of the ones that I liked so far in this video. So let's just go ahead and talk about my favorites of what I read. So these were the books that I read in this video, and of these books, I think that this one is my favorite so far that I read. Even though it was, you know, not that many pages, I still feel like this one is the one that I would pick up first out of all of these. And this I did get on Book Outlet for I think like $3 or $4. Literally, it was super stinking cheap. Then the next one I think I really liked was the Christina Lauren Love and Other Words. Both of these are very emotional though, so I feel like you would have to be in the correct mindset, and I also got this one from Book Outlet. Then next I would go with Three Blind Dates. This one I think is going to be very entertaining. It's just different. It's not going to be emotional. It's just going to be funny, like a chick flick, you know, type of TV show in my opinion. So I am excited to read this one. It was definitely quite high up there too. Then I feel like these two are kind of tied. This writing style is easier for me to read than this for the Flatshare, but the Flatshare I feel like has a more interesting storyline at the moment, just because this kind of like, I didn't learn anything in this book like based off of the synopsis, so I really still do not know what this book is about. So these were the two least favorite that I read in this video, but they still are pretty good. I'm actually surprised that I didn't have any books in this video that I didn't like. Sometimes when I do the try chapters, I just really, you know, am bored when I'm reading the first chapter, but all of these books were actually really great, and I feel like you guys would probably love reading these within this month of February. They're all fantastic romance reads so far within the first chapter, so I am looking forward to picking them up in the future. I don't think that I'm gonna have time to pick any up in this month, but I think a lot of these I might save for a future readathon when I do it with Gabby during Romanceathon, because we're definitely gonna be doing that this summer again. So maybe I can, you know, save them for Romanceathon. That is it for this video. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books and you liked them or disliked them, because obviously I haven't read them and I'm only basing my ratings off of the first chapter. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, because it really supports my channel, and I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye everyone.